for the Stanley Cup.
Go.
Your Game 7 winners, Montreal on the road. A couple of home teams in the NBA followed somewhat similar scripts. Close early, and then the home team just too much as time moves on. You see the modern Pistons with royalty in the building, Isaiah Thomas there to cheer them on. You flash back to a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is before high definition, kids. Thomas and Joe Dumars become the first Pistons duo to score 25-plus in a Game 7. Dumars had 35, Thomas had 25, but that was in a Game 7 loss to Boston. Tobias Harris was spectacular in this one. You heard his coach praise him afterwards for all the things he is. Great teammate, great human, ready for the moment. He is that. Harris and Thomas both loving what they're seeing. Cunningham, Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton in the building. Cunningham and Harris, the second Pistons duo to go 25-plus in a Game 7, the first to do it in a win. They will take on Cleveland because the Fro, Jared Allen here, gathers the miss, feeds Donovan Mitchell. Float game. Cavs pushed the lead to 10 after they were tied at the half. And then here it's Max Strus with the steal. Allen doesn't even need a dribble. Great hustle and defense from Strus. Must be fun to know you got the big fella out there. You could just bounce past it for an easy two. Here off the miss of the free throw, gathers his own rebound, and Allen is the first Cavalier with 20-plus points, 15-plus rebounds in a Game 7 since LeBron James in 2018 as the Cavs win by a dozen. So, conference semifinals are set. Cavs take on the Pistons. Both teams coming off a Game 7 series in the first round. It's the first playoff series where both teams are coming off a Game 7 since 2021 when Milwaukee beat Atlanta in the Eastern Conference Finals. 76ers and Knicks meet in the playoffs for the second time in the last 3. New York won their first round matchup 2 years ago. It's their first meeting beyond the first round since '83 when legends Mo Malone and the Sixers swept another legend, Bernard King, and the Knicks in the conference semis. Out west, the Lakers take on the Thunder. That's a monumental task. OKC won the 4 regular season meetings by 29 a game, the largest differential in NBA history between teams that met eventually in a playoff series. According to ESPN's Shams Charania, Luka Doncic will miss at least the start of the series due to that strained hamstring he suffered in a blowout loss to OKC. Timberwolves and the Spurs meet in the playoffs for the third time. Tim Duncan and the Spurs defeated Kevin Garnett and the Timberwolves in the first round in 2001 and in '99. After missing the last 2 games of the first round due to a knee injury, Anthony Edwards cleared for on-court activities. He will now be questionable for Game 1. As you take a deep breath and look back at what we saw in the first round, we saw multiple 3-1 comebacks. We saw an historic blowout. I'll admit this. All right, it was Thursday night. We were off. I was out to dinner. I looked at the Knicks score against Atlanta, and I thought that this can't possibly be a real thing. It was. We saw the Rockets up 6 with the ball on their home floor in 30 seconds, lose a game and lose a series to an injured Los Angeles Lakers team. We saw Wemby get injured in the series against Portland, where they go on the road, are down 15 in both games on the road, came back and won both of them. We saw an injured Minnesota team win over Denver, and we saw Jaden McDaniels walk it and talk it. And as I said on Twitter, the only time I saw that guy's expression change is when he smiled when Jokic and he locked up after Game 4. All this is fun. I don't know if it matters because OKC's just out there going, y'all let us know when you're ready. We're ready to roll. We played 4 games. We've won them all. Guaranteed, Steve, you love this. I'm sure we'll talk about it on the pod. New blood in the East.
Yeah.
New blood in the East.
Fresh faces.
We're going to have somebody new. Maybe OKC's out there as the final boss. Maybe the Spurs or the Nuggets will have something to say about it. Maybe. Through 6.5 games of their first round series, Toronto and Cleveland had scored the exact same number of points. It was going to come down to the second half. That is when Donovan Mitchell went to work, had 15 of his 22 in that second half. It was really like a decisive kind of flurry of punches in the very beginning of that third quarter that created the lead that they rode to the victory. Like in Detroit, Cleveland, Kenny Atkinson came together through the adversity of being pushed to 7.
I think this series galvanized us. You know, when you have to, their physicality, their speed, their athleticism, things weren't perfect. And we kind of know the difference. You know, last year we kind of had a, easier series. You know, these type of series, they build you up, and I'm glad we went through it. It wasn't fun, but I think it will be a better team coming out of it.
Must be the playoffs.
Chris.
We get to spend some time with my friend Mark Spears, the Hall of Fame writer. And Mark, you've been spending quite a bit of time throughout this season with Donovan Mitchell. And I'm interested in what he shared with you after a disappointing Game 6 loss that came to fruition in this decisive Game 7.
Well, Scott, disappointing was an understatement, the way they ended that game in Toronto, and embarrassing and tough fashion, which cost them 3 days of rest for this next series. And, I expected Donovan to be dour afterwards, but he smiled to me and he told me, I'm excited. It's why you get home court. Game 7s, do or die. This is why you compete. This is why you're late in the gym in the offseason. I'm excited for it. And at that time, I was like, okay. I kind of felt like they were going to be all right. He dapped me up pregame, like just so unnervous. But when the game started, it certainly didn't look like that way for the Cavaliers. All of a sudden, his fiance, Coco Jones, walks in, and then he seemed more relaxed. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But they seemed to pick it up in the second quarter to tie the game. And in the second half, it was the Jared Allen show. It was an incredible display by Jared and the Cavaliers, and something that we haven't seen from them all series in terms about being excited, like Donovan said, and competing. And that was a Cavaliers team that we expected from the beginning of this series, and they finally showed up, in a do-or-die situation, as Donovan said.
You mentioned Jared Allen. We saw the imprint that Tobias Harris has on Detroit's victory. And Cade is the star there. Donovan's the star in Cleveland. Then you might say Mobley second. But Jared Allen's fingerprints are all over both ends of the floor here in impacting this game. How, from your seat, do you feel like Allen was a differentiator tonight and then moving on or not?
Well, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden still haven't really had signature games yet, right, in this playoff so far. And it was Jared Allen who sparked them. He averaged like 9 points and 6 rebounds in the series going into this game. But he did better than that in the third quarter with 14 points and 10 rebounds. He was the one getting the block shots. He was the one that was sparking the team to get 50-50 balls. And I think they were inspired by him as well, and his enthusiasm and his play. And I don't know if we count fast break points as a stats to an individual player, but he had fast break points as well. If you didn't know any better, you thought he might have been the best guy in the team. And that's certainly something they're going to need when they play the Pistons in a couple days. Actually, after the game, Donovan Mitchell talked to the crowd and told them to praise the Fro for the game he had. And he also implored the fans that this is a 2.5-hour drive from Detroit. Come up there and support them. Both teams have a day off before Game 1. But I'm really excited about this series with Spider, the Fro, and the Cavaliers facing the Pistons.
I know you have to go catch up with Donovan, so I'm going to let you go. But if I could squeeze in one quick one, just a quick thought, a sentence, if you like, on Allen and Mobley against Duren, who's an all-star for Detroit, as a man that used to make his living down in the paint doing some heavy work yourself. I think this is a rare big-on-big matchup that's pretty compelling. I'm just interested in what you see there.
Yeah. Well, Detroit just got out of this, right, with Orlando in terms of size. I think against Toronto for Cleveland, you're talking about length and athleticism, and I think that really bothered them. But to me, I like this matchup in terms of the bigs on both sides. I don't know that anybody has an advantage. It's kind of a mano-a-mano heavyweight fight from the bigs. I actually think, in a weird way, Cleveland's probably looking forward to dealing with that more than dealing with those young, athletic guys with no pressure on them. The pressure now does turn to Detroit. and I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be an amazing series that brings back those old Central Division heavyweight matchups, right, that we got accustomed to growing up seeing, Scott.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, I know you got to go catch up with Donovan. Please send my regards to him and the rest of the fellas in Cleveland, and I look forward to talking to you again soon, all right?
All right. Always a pleasure, brother.
Always. Mark Spears in Cleveland.